as simple as this. Daniel, is there activity? Yeah, there is. Well, don't stress. Just keep on creating activity.
Right.
And what he meant by that is, as long as I'm talking to people, as long as I'm meeting, I'm running things, and I'm not stopping, no matter what it is. Don't worry about the money. Just make sure there's activity going on in the background, and the business will just come forward. It will come in.
So joining me on the line today, I've got Daniel Calleja from Visual Production Agency. G'day, Daniel.
Hi, David. How are you?
Excellent. Yourself?
Very well, thank you.
That's good. Maybe start by telling us a bit about who you are, what you do.
Great. So I'm Daniel Calleja, as you mentioned. So I run a company called Visual Production Agency based here in Essendon North. So basically, I've been in the video business for about 15 years now. We've been for quite a while, early days, just after university, and worked with mainly a lot of corporate clients back in the day when we first started, a lot of large organizations. And over the years, we sort of catered for all size businesses, really, to help market their businesses, creating videos of all kinds and productions of all kinds, really. But the good thing is, over the years also, we've dedicated a green screen studio here now in our studio. Okay. So that's helping businesses in other ways. They come to us, as well as what we do. We can go to the businesses themselves, right, and do all kinds of productions, from advertising to training, to all sorts of testimonials and short and long videos. Yeah.
Gotcha. So tell me a bit about how this lockdown's affected you in business.
Oh, wow, immensely. Initially, I was very, very worried, actually. You could say probably a third of our business is event-based videos. Right. We actually filmed the Melbourne Cup last year, all their social media videos. So I had 14 staff work for me. We've covered celebrities, the atmosphere of the Melbourne Cup. So you can imagine that's a huge part of our business, and especially a job like that size. And we do the same things for small businesses that have events as well. And as soon as that happened, all I could think of, oh gosh, what's going to happen? We're going to miss the Melbourne Cup this year. We're going to miss out on all these events that our businesses had organised. Yep. And there was some cancellations instantaneously from the marketing managers that I work with. Right. We work with a lot of universities as well. They have events like open days, and
so all that's gone, huh?
That all went overnight, really. Yeah. So that hit us pretty hard. So yeah, it was a bit of a scare, especially the first few weeks, definitely.
Yeah. So what's happened since then?
It's interesting. So I thought to myself, what's going to happen? How can we still help businesses in this time where people are a bit more scared to go out and do things? Yeah. I utilized our studio more, so I was promoting more of our studio productions. I made our team smaller, so rather than having 3 or 4 people in our studio to take care of a production, I actually did it myself as a business owner, because I do film, I do a lot of the stuff myself, which is great for my background. Right. So I said, look, 1 person in studio, come in, read your script off our teleprompter. I'll do the teleprompting operating. I'll do the filming. I'll do everything else if I have to, and keep a distance from our clients. So that was a big help. People felt more, just comforted that we can still do that with a small crew, as well as on-site productions. Some of our clients needed things done where they had to present something, but I still had to do it on my own. So it was quite hard, but at least we can do it with some of the gear these days. We can still, prioritize smaller cameras and gear to go to these productions. Yeah. I guess different kinds of videos have been created, like instructional videos in this time of need for clients that are creating new products and services due to the COVID-19 stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So really, it sort of caused you to change the product mix, yeah?
It did. Yeah, it did. Some clients wanted live streaming. So I purchased some more equipment. I invested some more money into live streaming boxes and whatnot. Had to do it because I guess, at the end of the day, we've got the gear. And it was interesting when I purchased the live stream box, the video business we brought it from, the supplier said that was the last one we had. They were selling like hotcakes. So you can imagine everyone buying live stream boxes.
Yeah.
So
well, I suppose, this whole event has caused a lot of people to sort of, they call it pivoting, right? But going online, not because they decided to, but because they didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
And, as you've sort of observed, it's sort of created a flood on the market of all these products being sold, which is interesting. So tell me, obviously with change and change in the economy, it creates opportunity. So what opportunities do you see moving forward from here?
Well, for us, it's really the kinds of productions we've been catering for. We've picked up a new client that's picked up a a contract with government that they create hives for the hospitals. So they need instructional videos. So we're doing more of those type of videos now for clients that need these styles of videos rather than just marketing. Because I have to admit, most businesses that are trying to market now or have a marketing manager are scared or hesitant to spend any marketing budgets whatsoever because they don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
So I believe that having that flexibility in having not one niche. Luckily enough, we don't stick to one niche. Like I say, we only do these kinds of videos, just events or just studio.
Yeah.
We cater for all kinds, and I think it's important to open that up at the moment. Okay. If you don't open up your avenues, it's going to be tough to pick up new business. Could be very flexible with budget as well, which we have been. As much as we might have charged before, we've dedicated, like I said, a smaller team to help the businesses as a crew to make it affordable for the businesses as well.
So really bringing the costs down so it's more sort of economical, a lower level product, a lower end product. What you talked about being like is diversifying your product mix so you're not sort of lumbered in, because if you're doing just live events, you'd be in trouble.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, they're interesting things. So what are your priorities right now in the business?
Right now, we're, believe it or not, we're marketing more than ever.
Yeah.
I think that businesses have shut down their marketing. They're doing the wrong thing only because it is a good time to ramp up your marketing and actually revise your marketing while you've got the time as well.
Yeah.
We've just rebuilt a brand new website. It should be released in the next couple of days, actually. We've been building it for about 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great looking website, a lot of team effort, huge amount of work. And, with that, we're doing more social media content, more articles, more educational videos. And even myself just going up online and, advising or giving free advice to businesses that need it.
Yeah.
There's a need now for more, I guess, education while people have the chance to listen. I think we can provide that information if need be.
Yeah, fantastic. So really just tuning into where people's eyeballs are, which is on their computers, right?
Yeah, spot on, especially now. A lot more social media than ever.
Yeah, fantastic. So tell me, what personal lessons have you taken away from this?
I think not to panic. I went to a panic mode the first week of COVID.
Yeah.
I remember the first day it kicked in was the Monday. I think it was middle of March, maybe the 15th, something around then. There was just not one email that came through. And it was like the world got hit by a bomb. Yeah. And I'm thinking, oh God, here we go. This is going to be a tough time. And how are we going to get through this? How am I going to pay my staff, my overheads? We've got all these, we've got big expenses, and it's not a matter of, what can we cut down? It's more like, what do we need to do to bring the business in? We can't just cut everything off.
Yeah.
So there was a little bit of scarcity, and I guess obviously the shock and horror about what was going on, and also I think everyone was going through the whole fact of what is COVID-19? Is it going to affect us personally as well, health as well? So I think panicking, as much as us humans do that instantaneously because of something's changed, I think just taking time to absorb it and just get to know what to do and just have a plan and goal in place. Like I did that eventually. It took me a few days to get my head into gear again.
Yeah.
So, okay, what do I need to do to make this work? And I met and spoke to a lot of the people in my industry to start coming up with new ideas like live streaming and how to utilize the studio with better packages and stuff like that. So yeah, innovating rather than sort of pulling back and saying, I can't spend any money now because we've got to hold back. I think that was
interesting because human nature is when something's, when you're in fear, you just freeze. And it's that old saying, a deer in the headlights, you wish they'd move and they don't.
Exactly. That's right. Exactly.
Right? So the whole idea is just to sort of refocus and say, what can I do as opposed to what can't I do? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I've been taught this at a young age. I had some really good mentors and business coaches in the past. And like I said, I've been in business for 15 years, but I was 20 years old when I started, and I went through massive ups and downs, massive mistakes. I nearly lost my business, because of the financial mistakes I made. And I guess a lot of the times I had a coach that said to me, okay, you got 3 options, write them down, A, B, and C. What do you want to do now? And once you read them on paper, you say, well, I've got 3 options. I don't want to close a business. I don't want to cut my overheads. I just got to work harder to make it work. Right. And that happened to me a few times through my time. So I sort of looked at this COVID-19 sort of, the way that this came around was sort of the same way of my thinking. Okay, I need to do something to help me push forward rather than sort of set back. And, I don't want to close everything up. So, yeah.
Great segue to my next question. The best piece of business advice you've ever received?
Oh, gosh, that's a good question. best piece of business advice? Yeah, I'll give you one. One of my coaches says to me, and I used to always, start panicking, even like this, and saying, "Shit, we've got no business. There's no invoices being sent out. We've got no work." As simple as this, Daniel, is there activity? Yeah, there is. Well, don't stress. Just keep on creating activity. Right. And what he meant by that is, as long as I'm talking to people, as long as I'm meeting, I'm running things, and I'm not stopping, no matter what it is. Don't worry about the money. Just make sure there's activity going on in the background, and the business will just come forward. It would come in. So I think that for me was like okay, breather. Let's just keep on going with this. Let's not worry about the dollars right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose it's one of my favorite sayings is you can't steer a parked car.
Yeah.
And I think in business, it's just about keep going, right? Yeah. You'll get the feedback. You'll know if it's working or not working because people will tell you, right?
Yeah.
As soon as you stop, you've got no sort of feedback whatsoever.
Yeah, spot on. Exactly the same. Thanks. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, obviously, you've been coached and educated. You've probably been pointed in the direction of a few books to read on business. Have you got a favorite?
Yeah, I love the E-Myth, actually.
Yeah.
I found that to be really interesting in a sense of, I don't have any business partners, but I love the way that they, how he's written, what you do when you have a partner, or if you're on your own, how do you create that whole structure of your business? And I use that, and when I had more employees. I mean, I've had a lot of contractors, I've had more employees. I've changed things up in the business over time, but I've used that structure that they give to create a bit of a map of where people should sit. And it could be that I might be at the top, but I also could be on the bottom being that, cameraman or that whatever it is I love to do. Right. So it's just creating that structure of the business.
Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. And just my last question, the number one piece of advice you'd give to someone in business right now?
Basically what I said before, just keep the activity going. Do not stop and don't give up. Especially your marketing. I mean, there's a lot of free ways to do your own marketing, which is use your social media, give free advice. I'm not saying give free work. You don't want to do work for free, but if you're helping businesses now in this time of need, yeah. I believe that people will come back. And I've connected with a lot of people during this time on LinkedIn, on Facebook, now starting to do more face-to-faces again. Mm-hmm. Keep it going. Don't let it stop. And don't let the dollars tell you everything, because I think that's the issue with a lot of business owners. I think we tend to, and myself, look at just the numbers.
Yeah.
But numbers don't reflect everything. Everyone's going through a bit of time at the moment where it's a bit tough. Let's just move forward and keep the activity going.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with numbers is they're usually the result, and it's not the activity. And I think you sort of coined it nicely when you said keep your eye on the activity, because the dollars are a lagging indicator. They tell you what happened. They don't tell you what's happening. Right?
Exactly.
And so if you're using that, it's a bit like trying to drive a car by looking out the rear view mirror.
That's right.
I don't make a decision based on what happened. I'm going to make a decision based on what's happening right now.
Spot on. Yeah, exactly. I love that. Yeah, totally agree.
Look, Daniel, thanks so much for your time and your input. It's been great to have a chat, and really appreciate it.
No, thanks for the opportunity, David, and I really appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you around and everyone around at some new events soon.
Yeah, fantastic. Cheers.
Thanks, mate.